In this video, we're going to be mounting the front wheel, which requires us to remove the front axle, which is holding the motorcycle to the crate. We're going to use some simple hand tools. We're going to pay attention to the speedometer and how it's mounted. We're also going to have the front brake caliper out of the way while we're doing this. But most importantly, you're going to want to have a second set of hands to help you do this because someone has to hold the motorcycle. The first thing we're going to do is put our attention on the brake caliper side. We're going to bend back the front fender mounting, and then we're going to remove the brake caliper using a 12mm socket. You'll also notice inside the brake pads there's a little plastic piece that holds them separated. We can go ahead and take that out. At this point, you no longer want to use the front brake lever. If you apply the brakes, you're going to squeeze those pads together. At this point, it's going to be important to have a second set of hands because we're going to be removing that axle so that we can get the front end off the crate. We're also going to be taking these two straps off that are holding the rear end of the motorcycle upright. So it's important that we take caution here. We have a second set of hands to help hold the handlebars steady. You're going to reuse the axle that's holding the motorcycle to the crate, but not reuse the nut that's holding the axle on. So we'll go ahead and remove that nut. That's just for shipping. And when we remount it, we'll use the actual axle nut and a wheel spacer as well. He's using a 15 mil socket. Now, I'm holding the bike steady. I'm not grabbing the throttle. I don't want to damage the housing. So I'm going to hold the inner part of the handlebar while he puts it on the center stand. Now we're going to put our attention towards the speedometer. We're going to clip that wire from it so that it removes the center spacer, the drive wheel. And it has tabs on it. We want to make sure that they're mounted in the slots on the wheel when we actually get the front wheel under the front end. Okay, now we're ready to move the front wheel up under the bike. I'm going to put weight down on the rear of the bike, holding it steady on the center stand so that he has room to work. We're going to make sure that spacer gets in the left side of the wheel. And we're going to use a 15mm socket or wrench on the axle and then a 17mm on the axle nut. And we're going to tighten that axle nut to about 35 to 40 foot-pounds. Now we're ready to remount the front brake caliper. We're going to use a little red Loctite on the mounting bolts. And we're going to run those bolts through the front fender bracket as well as the caliper. And that front fender bracket, it might need to be bent out just a little bit more so that it fits with the tire. We're going to make sure that the brake pads go over the disc, that disc is sitting in the center of the brake pads. We're I'm gonna set these bolts at about 25 foot-pounds, making sure they're secure. And again, he's gonna bend out that front fender bracket. Now we're ready to take the motorcycle off of the carton.